Ilia Malinin didn't just win medals. He rewrote the definition of what modern figure skating could be. In the years leading up to the 2026 Winter Games, the sport entered a storm of controversy. Fans, judges, and athletes were divided over one central question. Was figure skating still about elegance and artistry, or had it become a contest of pure athleticism? At the center of that debate stood Malinin, the skater known worldwide as the quad god. This is the story of how he carried immense pressure, shattered expectations, and sealed Olympic team gold for Team USA in a performance that defined an era. Why did Ilia Malinin become the center of a judging backlash before the Olympics? Because his technical scores reached levels the sport had never seen before. Malinin was landing quadruple jumps with such consistency and difficulty that his technical base value often created an enormous lead. But while his athletic achievements were undeniable, his artistry and presentation marks sometimes lagged behind. That gap sparked a global debate about whether the scoring system was truly rewarding complete skating. What were skating purists most concerned about during this period? Many traditional fans believed figure skating was losing its soul. For decades, the sport had been defined by graceful edges, musical interpretation, and emotional storytelling. Critics feared that the rise of extreme jumping difficulty was pushing elegance into the background. To them, Malinin represented a new era where power threatened to replace poetry. How much pressure did Malinin face entering the 2026 Winter Games? The pressure was enormous. He wasn't only skating for medals. He was skating to prove that his dominance wasn't one-dimensional. Every performance became a test of legitimacy. Every program felt like a referendum on what figure skating should be. Malinin entered the Olympic season carrying not only Team USA's hopes, but the weight of the sport's identity crisis. What makes Malinin's quadruple jumps so revolutionary? His technique is built on biomechanical efficiency. Rather than relying only on raw strength, Malinin minimizes wasted motion. His takeoffs are clean, his axis alignment is immediate, and his body position in the air is extremely tight. The result is rotation speed and control that allow him to land jumps once considered physically impossible. Why is rotation speed so critical in quadruple jumping? Because quadruple jumps are battles against time. In less than a second of airtime, skaters must complete 4 rotations and still land with stability. Malinin generates extraordinary angular momentum by snapping into position with near-perfect symmetry. This is why he could achieve the quadruple Axel, the legendary 4A, a jump that had long been considered beyond human reach. How does Malinin's technique differ from his Olympic rivals? Most elite skaters rely on more traditional mechanics. Their jumps often depend on height first, with rotation developing slightly later. Malinin's method is different. Rotation begins instantly, the axis stays tighter, and the efficiency is extreme. His rivals skated with classical balance. Malinin skated like evolution. How did Malinin respond to critics who questioned his artistry? He transformed his skating. Malinin understood that technical dominance alone would never silence the debate. So he invested deeply in choreography, transitions, musical timing, and edge quality. He began skating programs where jumps were not separate athletic moments, but integrated pieces of emotional storytelling. The quad god started becoming recognized as a complete artist. What specific improvements forced judges to reward his presentation more strongly? His skating became more layered and sophisticated. He increased the complexity of his footwork, refined his body movement, and strengthened the connection between music and motion. Instead of skating to win points, he skated to create meaning. Judges could no longer separate his athletic brilliance from his artistic growth. What psychological shift defined Malinin's Olympic breakthrough? He stopped skating against other competitors and started skating against history. That mental change is what separates champions from legends. He wasn't trying to prove people wrong anymore. He was trying to create something unforgettable. Why was the Olympic team event final such a defining moment? Because the stakes were enormous. Team USA needed a performance that could clinch gold, and Malinin was the anchor under the brightest spotlight possible. Every jump carried national expectation. Every second was pressure. The atmosphere was electric. What made his gold-clinching routine so historic? He executed one of the most difficult programs ever attempted under Olympic-level stress. The routine included record-level quad content, flawless landings, seamless transitions, and a closing sequence filled with both power and emotion. It wasn't just a skate. It was a declaration of a new era. How did the world react when Malinin sealed Olympic gold? The reaction was immediate and global. The arena erupted. Social media exploded. Commentators called it a moment that would be remembered for generations. In that instant, Malinin's nickname became permanent. The quad god was no longer hype. It was history. How does this victory change the future of figure skating? Because it reshapes what young athletes believe is possible. Future skaters will grow up in a world where the quadruple axel is real, where technical ceilings can be broken, and where athleticism must coexist with artistry. Malinin didn't just raise the bar. He moved the sport into a new dimension. Will judging rules evolve because of Malinin's impact? Almost certainly. His career has forced the sport to confront how it balances difficulty with performance quality. Future scoring adjustments may focus on rewarding complete skating while ensuring that extreme innovation is properly valued. Malinin didn't just challenge opponents. He challenged the system itself. What is the lasting legacy of the Malinin revolution? Resilience and reinvention. He entered the Olympic era surrounded by controversy. He faced criticism that athleticism was ruining elegance. But instead of retreating, he evolved. He turned debate into dominance. He turned pressure into gold. And he turned revolution into a new standard of excellence. Finally, Ilia Malinin began as a phenomenon who divided the skating world. But he became the athlete who proved that physics and poetry can share the same ice. His Olympic team gold was not only a victory for Team USA. It was a victory for the future of figure skating itself. The Malinin revolution has only just begun. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to share this video, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful sports documentaries and Olympic legends.